All right, so this is our presentation on the Boca system, right? And just understanding the foundational principles of a different way of looking at the game. The principles that were the source of the tiki-taka system, as distinguished from other systems of looking at the game: fluid play, positional play, support, square, overload. So I'm going to run through them very quick on a tactical board, and then we'll be done. But just to get the foundation, right? So this is our tactical board. I like to use 5v5 because even in the 11s game, there's only 5 players really at any given time that are responsible for the ball. So the origins of the Boca system in futsal did sort of branch out to outdoor. There's some deviations, but the most important place where they kind of bled out into outdoor is the false 9 and positional and dropping in between the lines. And so if you kind of look at the maybe the original sin of English and German soccer, it starts something like this, right? Support, square, overload, right? So there's the support player, there's the square player, here's the overload, right? And basically the conceptualization starts with drills that have those terms in them, right? And then sort of building from there. That's sort of like it's a twisted. They twisted the formation, so the Brazilians twisted the formation, and then played a little more fluid, right? But again, it's a positional system. People have roles and positions, right? And so you want square to the diamond, okay, and then maybe add rotations and compressions, right? So the diamond could compress if there was pressure on the ball. The diamond could compress, right? And if it was a zone defense, then maybe the diamond could extend, and then it can rotate. Right. So you went from support, square, overload, positional, to rotation, compression, contraction, positional, right? And then so what's the next iteration, right? So the rotation and contraction is disposition. So position to disposition. So it went from support square overload to disposition. Disposition, how are they rotating? Why? What's the distance between the players and why? Right? And so on and so forth. Right? Now, this is where, so one issue was, we're not going to get into fully fluid dispositional play in this presentation, but one issue was when the zone defenses started getting very strong. And this position, however you did it, box or diamond, wasn't working. And so one way to do it would be to get into a man-to-man or more fluid situation, right? Or, and this is where the Boca system came in, the system to overcome zone defense. So this player, this is where the false 9 came in. This player would drop in between the lines. These two players would push up into the half space and play just off the shoulder of these defenders, aggressively positioned. And then the play looked like this. There's a pass and a swing and a pass and a swing. And if at any time there was pressure or a bad touch, then the players would go to the ball. And if there's a lot of pressure, this triangle would form in front of the pressure. If there was a zonal kind of squeeze pressure, the triangle would form around the pressure. And again, if there was a complete zone, then they move up into the half space, this player blocking, and they would provoke the press and then play through it. So some of the characteristics of it are the automations, right? Because there's really no rotation. The automations are, this player is halfway between the lines in the zone, all the way on the edge, so that this player here can turn their back on the dribble, and they can, once they look at the zonal lines here and here, when they turn their back and come around, they're going to know exactly where to put the ball, sort of on an automated basis. By the same token, if they have pressure, they can turn their back because they know that the help is coming. And then you get into the either tiki-taka or, some of the bounce pass mechanics, play the way you face, right? So there's some variations to it, right? If you go there, and then you can go here, and then draw pass and exchange positions, right? You can exchange positions. You can swing if to provoke the press. You don't always have to play the outside. You can swing and then swing inside and drive, right? You can do the drive with la condition. And right, so this is the Boca draw pass, and then there's the drive, right? Where you, if as you swing, right, and you kind of move in a counterclockwise or away from the ball in the swing, like a pendulum. As you swing, right? And this player happens to be vertical to you, you can drive, put the ball on the drive. And so that's the basics of the system. And the triangles, the compression of the formation, the overload principles, right? The automation, whether it's the drive, the drop pass, the swing, tiki-taka, right? The triangle surrounding the defender, the read of the triangle in front of the defenders, the defensive line, right? Whatever it is, the player dropping in the lines, in between the lines, dropping the weakness. So this player here can, you don't want to put him into space, right? You don't want to put him in the press trap because here it'd be crunched. So he's dropping in literally between two lines, or he's posting up, right? And then these guys are getting between the lines, right? So, or one option is if a player vacates an area, it's a third man position, right? So this player can drive here and then hit the third man position. So he takes up the position that was just vacated. So you can follow the press. And depending on the intensity of the press, it depends on how close he comes or whether or not he stops there in the weakness. So automations, reading the game, understanding, protecting passing lanes, all about the Boca system. Basically how Boca juniors from futsal taught Barcelona the false nine, the tiki-taka, and space management, understanding space. So that's it. Thanks for joining, and it'll be up on the website.